Hey everyone, my name is Ketan Sharma, and today we are going to learn about some new concepts about development, I guess. So, in my last video, I showed you guys how we can do stream processing. I guess I used EC2 server on which my Kafka was running, and I used uh, what we say that Apache Flink to perform the server processing, not server processing, stream processing. All right. So you guys can check that video out. So in this session, we are going to see authentication, simple authentication. You have your username, you have your password, you send it together to a server, the server validates it, and you get your orders. Isn't that so how it happens when you go to Amazon? Right? So in this session, there are three types of, popularly, there are three types of authentication session, which is stateful. Stateful means that you need to store them on a DB, basically. Then we have JWT, which are stateless. You don't need to store them in your DBs, okay? Instead, they are stored on cookies, inside of cookies, which are stored on user browser. All right, so this is more prone to cross-site scripting attacks. Your JW token can also be stolen, but it's much secure as you are not storing it in your DB and it's not stateful. Both of them expire after some time, so your session gets logged out. You might have seen after 2 days you're not able to log in your Amazon account because it kind of automatically logs you out. Then you have to log in again. That's means your session or a JWT is getting expired. Fourth one, we have OAuth. Basically, the Google OAuth system you might have seen, you get a push notification, right? That is your Google OAuth. So we are going to see JWT. And what's the catch? What's the catch, guys? What's the catch? We are going to see how we can implement them in gRPC. There are lots of videos on the internet how to do it in Node.js, Django, loads of programming languages. But we are going to see how we are going to use gRPC, which are uh, remote procedure calls. All right. What does G stands for? Google. I hope so. I hope so. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. Why Google? Because it uses something called protobufs, which are created by Google itself. Protobufs are just equivalent to JSON. Okay, just protobufs are used in gRPC. JSON is used in REST. So what is gRPC? And so gRPC is just a type of API. Okay, you have graph APIs, you have REST APIs. We have that's how that's the kind of API uh, like gRPC is also a kind of API only. Okay, it's an application interface. gRPC is much faster than REST. A lot of companies use it. I guess Atlassian also uses it, and LinkedIn also uses it, right? So yeah, this is gRPC and this is REST. So In gRPC, in REST we use get calls, we use post calls. Here we use RPCs, remote procedure calls, which have a request body defined and response body defined in a file called .proto, kind of like a database schema. What goes in is predefined, what goes out is predefined. Okay, that is why it makes it a lot of extensible, because we can use it in cross languages. Like uh, gRPC makes stubs for JavaScript, for Java, for Python, irrespective of what language we are using. We can use gRPC in cross languages. Okay, so because the schema is predefined in the .proto file, we can use it anywhere. Okay, so this is what it is. And what's the additional stuff that we are going to see? There are not much videos on YouTube for this authentication, okay, in gRPC. So we are going to see how usually everybody uses insecure channels. We are going to use secure channels. Shit. Yeah. We are going to use secure channels. What are secure channels? SSL and TLS. We are going to create certificates which are going to encrypt your data, which would be going through the channels through your gRPC server and gRPC client. And we are going to see Redis also. All right. Because what are we going to use is we are going to use an order service to fetch and create orders. Before that, we are going to use an auth service to create a user and authenticate a user using JWT. All right, so it's quite simple. First, we are going to use this service to authenticate and create the user, get the JWT token. Then using this JWT token, we are going to use our order service. Pretty much defined. Okay, it's same. It's really simple. What are we going to do is we are going to simply make an authentication, get our user authenticated, and then we are going to go to the order service, which is going to see the JWT token. If it is authenticated, then it's going to give us our orders and let us create our orders. As simple as that. Very cool. So, this is a very lightweight application. I have not used any GUI or any front-end technology, front-end stack. It's just pure back-end code. Okay. So it's quite simple. I have not kept it very complicated. Okay. So if you guys feel that this is bullshit of a application, I know it is. It took me like probably 1.5 hours to 2 hours just to make this. It's very lightweight. Okay, not a problem. Let's move on to the code. First thing, we are going to see Redis. Okay. kubectl. 3 Redis pods, Redis 0, Redis 1, Redis 2. Redis 0 is the master. Redis 1 and Redis 2 are slaves. What is Redis? Redis is in-memory database used as a cache. It is used for a lot of purposes, for pub sub mechanisms as broker, okay, message queues, but we are going to use it as a in-memory cache database. Sentinel 0, Sentinel 1, Sentinel 2, responsible to manage Redis 1, Redis 2, Redis 0. If master goes down, Sentinel is responsible to promote the slaves to the master and create a new slave. For more reference, you can watch that DevOps guy. There is this channel named as that DevOps guy. You can watch his video. I also took reference from there. I'll be dropping the link down in the description. So I guess you guys have seen how Redis works. Learn about Redis, please. I'm not going into a lot of depth. I'm just going to port forward this. All right. Yeah. So let's see Redis CLI, if it is connected or not. Yeah, so we got our connection there. I'm just going to authenticate it. Very complex password here, I guess. Yeah, it's okay. So we are going to see info replication is going to show you. Okay, sorry. Let's go. Yeah, so it's going to show you this. I'm using a Minikube cluster in order to run this Redis. We can see that we have slave 0, slave 1. This is the IP, cluster IP provided to the slaves. Okay, and let's just clear it out. All right, so let me just delete. Yes, and well, let's orders, I guess it should be orders. Yep. So now we don't have anything left. Let's move on to our code. We have Kubernetes folder, which has Redis and Redis Sentinel defined. It has stateful set config YAML and config map YAML and stateful set YAML. All have been referenced from that DevOps guy. Okay, you can just go there and see his video. Prodos, that Prodo file that I told you, the schema. So we can see that we have two services, orders and auth service, as I told you. Auth service performs two RPC calls, get authenticated with or authenticates your user, and so the other one creates your user. Same service orders have also two RPC calls, get orders and create orders. Consider this create RPC methods as your post and get as your get, making it analogous to REST API for those who don't know what is gRPC. Then we have request and responses predefined for every service. Auth request, auth response, order request, create order request, create order response. Okay, so how are we going to create our orders? We are going to take the customer name and what orders do they want to add. Okay, response them with a message and what orders have been added. Get orders, it's going to take order request with the customer name. We are going to respond by what orders customer have. Okay, auth request, username and password. Auth response, we are going to give them a token and a message that they have been authenticated or they have been the user has been created. Token is the JWT token, okay, that we are going to store somewhere. Okay, let's start with server, the authentication server. Okay, this function generates the JWT token. We have the auth service, which is extended from auth service servicer. Implementation of create user function. We take username and password, check in Redis if the user exists. If does, no need to create it. Then we using bcrypt hash our password, set it into Redis and say that account has been created. Get authenticated, takes the username and password, sees if the user is there. If not, no need to do anything, authentication failed. Then we check the password, hashed one and the passed one. If passes, we generate the token. Okay, and then we send the response with the token and hello username, authentication successful. If not, invalid tokens or invalid credentials. Okay, so yeah, our server is going to work on 50051. So yeah, about the transport layer security, I'm using the server key and server CRT. So these are basically generated by OpenSSL bash script. Okay, so I use server key to generate my CSR, certificate signing request, which is here. Here is my private key, and using both of them I create a certificate which is going to encode our data, which is going to travel through the channel. Okay, so yeah, you can just go through a tutorial how you can create your certificate signing request and a CRT from there. We use them in RBAC also when we are using context in Kubernetes. All right. So yeah, this is what auth service is doing. Here is the Redis client. Okay. So server orders is also doing the same thing, validating the JWT orders, create orders, get orders. Okay, it is just seeing if the customer name does not exist. Don't need to return the orders. See and then get the orders, send the response. Same with the create orders, get the orders successfully added. Okay. Yeah, and then we are also here using server key and CRT to use TLS, secure channel. Something which is new, which is interceptor. What is interceptor? Let me tell you what is an interceptor. Okay. So you guys must have heard about middlewares. All right. So I told you that how does JWT work? Let me tell you how JWT work. Client sends username and password to the server, which authenticates it, sends back the JWT via cookies. Okay. Now, every subsequent call that client makes will have JWT defined in the cookies. So suppose now that we have done our authentication, now it's time to fetch the orders. Client makes an order request. Before it reaches our server, we have a middleware which checks for the JWT expiration. Okay. If JWT has expired, it will not allow the call to go to the server, which will return the orders. If it does, if it did not expire, it will go to the server. As simple as that. We in REST API, we have middlewares. In gRPC, we have interceptors. Let's see how we implement them. We have the interceptor service. What it is going to do is it is going to take the metadata. Okay, so metadata, your JW token is in the metadata. Let's see how. So client orders. Client is going to just get the orders. Here also we have SSL channel on both of the sides. We use certificates to kind of encode them and decode them. Okay, from one side it encodes, from one side it decodes. We need certificates on both sides. Okay, then we use call credentials. Call credentials have the metadata, which we get from this plugin, auth metadata plugin, which is a service we extend from gRPC to set the metadata that is going to go into our subsequent calls, gRPC calls. Okay, so the metadata that I have used here is authentication with the token, the JWT token. As you can see here, the every create order or get order, whatever it is doing, first it gets the call credentials, uh, initializes an object of auth metadata plugin, passes the token into it. How we are going getting the token? So when our server, when our client auth, okay, our auth client writes the token. Whenever we get, our client writes the token. I told you no that we store it on our client. So this write token is going to save this token here in this token.txt, which is going to be picked up whenever the client makes an order request. Here, pass it in the get orders function into the metadata, and then we make our calls using the order stub. What is a stub? It is just used to make the client calls. We have stubs defined for every corresponding service. Okay, here you see for auth service we have a servicer, and we have a where is it, stub. All right, so yeah, that's why it is cross language. We can use a stub defined in Java also, JavaScript also, and just make a call to the Python server. Yeah, so this is how it is working. All right, so yeah, I guess I have showed you guys how the flow of the code is. Okay, and our Redis is also working. So I guess we should start our server. Let's just do Python server auth.py. Yep. So our Redis is connected. Server is running on port 50051 with JWT Authentication. Okay. Now we are going to see that we have our client auth.py. We are going to create a user, Alice, with the password super secret, and Alice and get authenticated also with the super secret password. Python client auth. Right, this is the file name. Now let's see. Yes, so we can see that our server response is hello Alice, account has been created and the authentication has been successful. Let's see in our database. If we go get Alice, it is present there. So now what we are going to do is this, while when the client made a request, it did write the token into our token.txt file. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to go to our order server and we are going to start it. Python orders server. Okay, so Redis is connected. Server running on port 50052 with JWT authentication. Now we are going to move on and run our Python client orders. What is happening in client orders? We are going to create the orders. Alice has made order on apple, which is 120 rupees, banana 70 rupees, passing on the token, and we are going to get the same orders. So okay, so yeah, we ran into a problem which was that our server was kind of taking a lot of time, the Redis server, to handle requests. So I just kind of report forwarded it. Now I guess it should work. Yeah. Okay, so let's just start again. Let's just do one thing. Python client, not client. We have server auth. Yeah, so where were we? Our authentication was obviously failed because our JWT token expired. So what we are going to do is we are going to run our server auth again. And as you can see from localhost 6379, which is basically our Redis server, it kind of gave a timeout. I don't know why. I think my Mac is not able to handle this. It's burning like hell right now. Okay, so yeah, let's just start again. Let's just do Python client.auth. Yeah, so we have got user already exists, obviously. Hello Alice, authentication successful. Let's just go to our auth server. Let's just start it. Python before 30 seconds get over. You know what, I'm just going to make another request to generate a new password. Got it. We have our orders running, and let's just do client orders. yeah, as you can see, now we are able to do this. Okay, we are able to create our orders. If I just kind of comment the creation and only get my orders, I won't be able to get it now. Why? Oh, I'm able to get it. Let's just wait for a few seconds more. So yeah, this is how our JWT authentication works. So basically it should, yeah, now it is showing that there is some error. If I go there again and I just kind of again create one, I'll be able to get it again. Okay, so this is pretty much how we are using our JWT token authentication to in gRPC. Also, in this video we have learned, I've shown you how I am making SSL secure channels also with TLS using Redis in gRPC. Yeah, so pretty much that. I'm sorry for the inconvenience and the failure that happened in my MacBook. I don't know why did that happen, because probably I'm running 3 servers. The gRPC won't work, won't cause any problem because they are very lightweight servers, I guess. Let me just see what are the logs of my Docker. I should be able to see it. Okay, let me just show you guys. All right, you can see. Okay, let's make a request. See, 78%. Yep. So this is my CPU usage right now. All right, guys. Thank you for like staying till the end, watching this video. It was really candid. I know that. It's all right. And yeah, I also wanted to show you guys this thing, which is how I asked ChatGPT to generate SSL certificates for me. You can just see, you create a private key first, then a certificate signing request for using your key and your SSR, CSR. You create your certificate. Okay. So I guess this is pretty much it. I will see you again in the next video. Thank you so much.